Hello student. In last lecture I have explained about the peripheral nervous system. Today I am taking next lecture on nervous system which are related to how does nervous tissue cause action. Means how these nervous tissue transfer the impulse from sensory part to brain and how the impulse are transferred from brain to muscles. So how they do action. So nervous system collect the information and send it around the body. You know that nervous system is a center part where all the information are collected, and after the execution all the information sent in different part of the body. It process information and decide to convey decision to muscles for action. After the execution they transfer the impulse to the muscles part, then muscles take action. Thus, when the action and movement is to be performed, muscles tissue will do the final job. When any information comes on the muscles tissue, then after muscles tissue does the function. The simplest notion of movement at the cellular level is only noticed by the changing the shape of muscles. When the impulse comes on the muscles part, then there will be the contraction and relaxation of the muscles, and muscles take necessary action. Muscle cells have special protein that change both their shape and their arranged in the cell in response to nervous electrical impulse. Muscle cells have two different type of proteins, actin and myosin. So by the presence of these proteins, muscles can contract and relax and change their shape and take necessary action. When this happens, new arrangement of these proteins give muscles different shape. Neurotransmitters are chemicals released from presynaptic neuron that interact with specific receptor site on postsynaptic neuron. So you know the network of nerve fiber present inside of the body. So this is one neuron, this is another neuron. Right, so this region, this is called synapse. The region between the axon of presynaptic neuron and postsynaptic neuron. So this specific region is called synapse. So by the synapse, two neurons are connected to each other, but they have very small gap. So how the impulse can transmit by this gap? So different type of neurotransmitter are secreted at the end of axon terminal lobes These terminal lobes secrete neurotransmitter. These neurotransmitter transmit the signal from this from the end part of neuron to dendrites. So so many of neurotransmitters, some at least some chemicals have been discovered that act neurotransmitter. So most of them are found in brain: acetylcholine, norepinephrine, gamma amino, butyric acid, GABA, dopamine, serotonin, glycine, etc. So neurotransmitters are chemicals which are released by the terminal lobes of one neuron, which transfer the impulse from presynaptic neuron to postsynaptic. So this neuron is called presynaptic. This is called post. Which collect the impulse, this is called postsynaptic. Which transfer the impulse, this is called presynaptic. Clear? So neurotransmitter are chemicals released from the presynaptic neurons that interact with the specific receptor site of postsynaptic neuron. So these are the neurotransmitter which help in the transmission of impulse from one neuron to another neuron. The important neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. Okay, next topic, coordination plant. Plants have neither nervous system nor muscles like animals. So you know that animals have nervous system or endocrine system. Both control different activity inside of our body. But in case of plant, last time I told you, they do not have nervous system but hormonal system present inside of these plants which control all the activity. So plants neither have nervous system or nor muscles like animals. Animal exhibit both electrical and chemical coordination. Means electrical means controlled by the nervous system and chemical means controlled by the endocrine glands. But plants exhibit only chemical coordination. It means they have only hormonal control. Plant responds against stimuli, and plants responds against stimuli. Stimuli means any substances, any things by which plants give the response. So this is called stimuli and or stimulus. The growth, control, coordination plant is regulated by certain chemicals are called plant hormones. So you have watched the growth and growth control and coordination in the plants is regulated by some special type of chemicals. These chemicals are known as plant hormones. Plants show two different type of movement dependent on growth, trophic movement, and movement independent of growth, monastic movement. So you have watched there are two type of movement present inside of the plant. First type of movement independent on the growth means growth present inside of the plant due to the response against stimuli. Due to the presence of any stimulus, plants exhibit growth. So this type of movement are called trophic movement, and the second type of movement is called nastic movement. It is not related to the growth of plant. The movement first immediate response to stimulus, nastic movement. The movement that are independent of growth response immediate to stimulus. Since no growth is involved, plant must actually move its leaf in response to external stimulus. Means when any stimulus come in the contact with the plant, then after plant do not respond, it do not stimulate the growth of the plant, only they give immediate response. And by the contraction of leaves, so this type of movement is called nastic movement. In some plant like Shui touch me not plant, when you touch the plant, then after leaves begin to fold up or droop after we touch the leaves. So in this type of movement you have watched when you touch the Shui plant in traditional name, but the touch me not plant. So when you touch the plant, then after the leaves of this plant become folded or droops, right? So there you have watched there is no growth, but plants are giving the response against the stimulus. Touch act as a stimuli and stimulus, and plant give the response against this stimulus. So it is apparent that movement happens at a point different from the point of touch. Not the plant give the response in the part where you are touching. All the plant part give same response. Thus non-directional induced variation movement is called nastic movement. The folding up as well as drooping of leaves due to touch stimulus is called thigmonasty and seismonasty. This is the type of nastic movement, thigmonasty and seismonasty, when the leaves usually fold up or droops when you touch them. During thigmonasty in Mimosa pudica, this is the botanical name of Shui plant, the information that a touch has occurred must be communicated. The plant also uses electrical chemical means to convey this information from cell to cell instead of special protein found in the animal muscle cells. Like plant cells change shape by changing the amount of water in them by swelling or shrinking, and therefore in changing shapes. So you have watched when you touch the Shui plant, then after some chemical changes occur inside of the plant. So these plants cells change the movement of water, amount of water inside of the cells. Then after cells and leaves can be swelled up or shrinked up. So the shape of the leaves will be changed. It means they will be folded or droop, and they can be swelled up. So this type of movement against the stimuli is known as nastic movement. Thus nastic movement or movement independent of growth or quick movement, so changes neither toward away from the external stimulus like stimulus by touch, commonly called seismonasty, stimulus by diurnal variation, commonly called nyctinasty, sleeping movement. It is reported in position of flower and leaves. So these also example of nastic movement. Okay, thank you. In next lecture I will explain movement due to growth or trophic movement.